What are you going to be doing for your 40th?
Good question. Probably eat McDonald's. I don't know.
It's like it's like when I tell Tina, it's like, oh, what do you want for your birthday? It's like, I'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings, I guess.
I know. I told Ashley this the other day. She's like, "Do you want to do anything?" Like when I get back from, because she came back from Boise. Do you want to do anything? I was like, I just want beat ups. It's like, ew, I don't want beat ups. Like
marketing is serious.
So then we went to. So instead, we did Popeyes. For whatever reason, she wanted the shrimp from Popeyes. I'm like, how is this a better choice? Like,
I mean,
I'm like,
Popeyes is pretty good, but I've
no,
never had the
like,
shrimp. So.
I get the ghost pepper chicken sandwich. Like, it was delicious, but everyone else was just like, oh, Popeyes is okay. It's like, yeah, see, could have done Wild Wings.
Hashtag not sponsored, I guess.
We're hungry. I think that's your first mistake.
Giving Popeyes free advertising.
I'll go to Popeyes again.
And B-dubs. We're just giving all the free advertising away.
And Dutch Brothers. Good Dutch Brothers. Could use another energy drink. We'll get one tomorrow. We're dropping Brooklyn off at Cheyenne tomorrow. So...
Okay, and we are up and operational. So welcome everyone to Animesplaining. Back on the regular train because Joey, Marlon and I watched Suicide Squad Isekai. You might like it. Like it's
No, I didn't watch the show. I watched your reaction.
It's
funny enough, I think you'd actually like this one, so we should have just saved it. Yeah, Joey, I would have liked it.
I don't think you would in the end. Like it's still kind of an anime anime, but it's very 90s. It's a 90s throwback.
It also punched above its weight very, very hard. I did not see that at all.
There are things that, like the Transformers anime that was on Netflix, I gave more of a chance. Like I find it entertaining. It's goofy, but because I saw Transformers 1 and I really liked it. So I'm like, well, like there's some things I can give more of a shot to. Unlike the middle of this series.
Oh,
this was.
Is it recording yet? Because I'm ready to go off.
Oh, we are recording. So yes, right, we watched the middle third of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, the filler middle, the where
so much filler.
With granted, I think it has 3 like top tier episodes, 3 like this was a good concept, but that is all that it went episodes, in 3 episodes that I need to look up to remember.
I like what the second thing you said. There are good concepts, but the problem is without the Laughing Man story to get you interested, all the weaknesses of this show show their ass right out.
Yeah.
You have one Laughing Man episode as a treat.
Which one was the Laughing Man episode?
It's a barely. Drew his face on it.
What was the Laughing Man? Is it the Chinese diplomat assassination one?
No, it's the one when Togusa goes undercover with the, like, we have imprisoned autistic children to make cybersecurity.
There was a Laughing Man? I don't remember a Laughing Man being in that. I just remember, yes, being, like, unbelievably depressed. Like, these people just, like, are so tuned in online and they can't turn themselves off. So, yeah, they're like little zombie children standing in a hall.
Except now it's worse.
Yeah, and it's like, are you being mistreated? And they're just like, are you being mistreated? It's like, oh. You're sad.
Children behavior. Gonna assume yes.
It's time to hook you in. Time to be Norton.
The death stare he gave her when she freaking explained the situation was like, it's driven. Like, you're just fine with this?
Just explaining your entire evil plan to the cop.
Be like imprisoned in a another kid. Like, it was a really messed up and memorable episode.
I will say the other thing too. We got it in the first episode that we were on, episode 10. What was it? I think 3 episodes at least of this series follow the other big police partner.
Yes, Bato.
Bato. And he doesn't have the strength of the other characters.
I disagree.
I disagree so much. I do not like the Major. The Major is very boring, and thank God Bato exists, because I would not be watching the show.
Oh man, do you want to see an episode where where they realize that the concept only takes them like 10% of the way with the episode, so then we just trap the Major into a movie theater and it's boring as shit?
She's just not an interesting character. It's the same issues with
No, she's not.
the other shows. With guys
She's
that
there
have
for
the-
eye candy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then who's the Major in charge? Or not her? She's the Major. Who's the police chief?
Aramaki. He gets his Captain Jean-Luc Picard episode in the wine place.
And it's more disturbing. He gets to play sex symbol. Like, I have this one English woman who once is interested in me, but I put duty above that. By the way, I'm going to let these criminals go because now I'll forsake my duty, but then I'll go enjoy my wine at night with the Major.
No, he let the criminals go so he can arrest the actual like corruption in the mafia combined with the state thing. I don't really understand the money laundering plot in that episode.
You say you need those guys to testify.
It's like, so the thieves are going to go and steal the wine, and then you're going to kill the thieves, but also the lady, because you're money laundering.
It's another crime, but they just used the wrong word.
But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Oh, well, yes, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll go episode by episode, because each episode is more episodic than the last. So we start with the best episode of the 9 in this case. That is Jungle Cruise. The episode where Bato learns that an old, like, not necessarily like an old like person that he knew, just like a vague like type of soldier that he knew is just let loose in the city to murder people.
Well, he was on the same type of special forces detail.
Yeah.
So he knows, like, he knows the trauma, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Like, come up to a guy, turn him around, and it was that guy, or was that like symbolism or something?
No, it's just like they basically did the same thing. Like, say, like, I guess, like, if Bato was a Navy SEAL, this serial killer guy is like Mossad, for example. Like, they realistically know what each other are and what they do. But it's basically that. I mean, it's obviously a commentary on the trauma of coming back from war. And do you ever really come back? Like, again, what Tony said, there's concepts of good ideas there, but then the weakness shows because there's not really that much more interesting going on. Because the dialogue is so dumb. Come here, dumbass. I hear it in every goddamn anime, and it's crap. Every single one. Or, get over here, you bastard! Every single anime, and it's crap. Every single time.
It is no different from
Yeah,
it's no different from like an action movie hero yelling at, a villain in a sewer.
But they're saying the same thing. The same thing. I could turn on Gundam, and the dialogue will be the exact same. I could turn on Princess Mononoke, and the dialogue would be the exact same. I could turn on Star Wars Visions, and the stupid dialogue would be the exact same.
But you can also get that same dialogue in Hot Fuzz, because it's making fun of action movies.
Yeah, because it's making fun of action.
But you can't make fun of an action thing for following action tropes. That's why they're tropes. They work.
Yes, but it's one of my problems with anime, is what I'm getting at, and that's the weakness of the genre to me.
So
Every anime out there, I swear, has somebody call somebody a dumbass, and they did it at least like 4 or 5 times in this series of episodes. And there's always somebody that's yelling at somebody, calling them a bastard, and they yell it in that exact same cadence.
Well, it's because you need to match the lip flaps, and the reason for dumbass is because characters will oftentimes say baka, which means idiot, or dumbass. It means like 4 different things that's all just like, you are stupid. And so...
motion, they have to figure out what fits in that.
Yeah.
That still means they're saying the same thing in Japanese. So it's still the same dialogue.
Yeah, that wasn't really that didn't really help. No.
and you talk about the dialogue being stilted, but I personally... The best dialogue is in this episode, which is these smarmy-ass CIA agents are here the entire time just, like, following them around and being shady. And then when they don't go along with their plan and they, like, need to actually, like, imprison the guy, they go, well, we only have 2 tickets back.
They legit fit it into the budget that this guy was coming. You can see that coming. We didn't expect him to live.
Could you just kill this guy? It would do us a real solid.
Clean it up too. It'd be great.
The other part is there is a suspension. Oh, like, hey, my name's Taka Watanabe. I work for the CIA. It's like,
he's the agent in Japan, so you're going to get
like there's some, but it's some.
It is a stretch. I had to have the same response. Like, both of you just full Japanese. American Embassy, just 2 Japanese. Okay. So we're going with. They could have even changed the names. At least tried a little bit, but nah, we're not going to bother.
No, and the main villain in the second season is with the American Empire, and he's very memorable. These 2 are not as memorable as that guy, but I understand what you mean there, but I still do like how smarmy those CIA agents are.
Like, as characters, yes, you clearly tell, like, okay. Like, yay.
I need to hack into the CIA database, but I can't do it with him standing over me like this.
I do appreciate that feature of the show, the whole psychic talk thing they have going because of the tech. That's a neat touch.
But yeah, also the scene where it's like Togasa and Bato watching the, like, feed from the guy. It's like they're not showing gore or anything like that, but it's like straight up it is disturbing to watch just from sound design alone.
And the one dude goes out and pukes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then like the idea of like where they had the idea of like, oh, and then he plugs in the person that basically plugs in the victim just to see his view. Yeah, that's gross.
Skinned him alive. There was a lot of great concepts in there, and this one was actually pulled off well, I feel. Unlike a lot of the other ones that came after.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a descending quality as they got to 18. I don't remember 18 and 17 that well, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, Marlon, you mentioned that this is kind of a Law and Order SVU episode, and yeah, I can see it. Or it's Criminal Minds episode. Like,
all of these are really long, or not Law and Order. I would call this like NYPD Blue. This whole series.
Friggin' NCIS. This is an NCIS episode.
It's a better way, yes. More modern.
Military and everything.
Yep. So the second episode is Portraits. This is the let's have a bunch of autistic children and plug them in so they can be cybersecurity, where Togasa goes undercover and they just kind of hand wave it. They just say he's able to get in.
Were they originally autistic, or did they become autistic from being?
They have cyberbrain closed shell syndrome.
They're not
actually autistic, but they come off autistic.
They developed an addiction to basically plugging in, and because of that, then they basically So they
like kids generally of tech, they're really they know how to use it better than we do because they grew up with it. So these kids are making tech for these guys, and they're just farming them. Entire episode.
Well,
Which is a brilliant
yes,
idea,
the
but
company
kind of
is
messed
feeding
up.
their addiction.
Yeah,
And
they're using their addiction. Like you put
or
an
using
iPad in
them,
front of your
real-
kid.
realistically using them for their addiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have
You put another iPad there.
so we have our Lost episode with the Cyberpunk 2077 anime that we watched. We all really liked, and this gives us, in my opinion, like the straight up inspiration for Atom Smasher. So Joey, were you disappointed by the big cyborg guy when he actually does action, just getting shot 3 times in the stomach and dying?
And they just falls over. Like, you didn't know I was violent.
You shot him 6 times in the dick.
Like, it's because, and they do, like, I get it, they do it for effect. But he's like, yeah, because the cyborg just looks down and is like, huh, there's bullet holes in me.
Like, I can't feel that, but yeah, go down.
Director looked at his watch and was like, we have 3 minutes left.
Whatever happened to the head guy? Because then the episode just goes on. Like, it's the chief is like, oh, and the chief is here, and now I need to leave. So, oh, does that mean you're gonna wipe all our memories? He's like, I'm afraid so. And
The chief is the Laughing Man.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the Laughing Man episode. That was the Laughing Man.
Yeah. But what
You're like Togusa, you just missed him.
Yeah, but what does not make sense is they make a big thing about Togusa not being cyberized. So Togusa does not have a cyber brain. So why was the Laughing Man able to hack into his human brain to make it so that he could not even make a sketch of it?
Right. You caught that too. Like, he couldn't hack anything, and there were no electric parts. So what's all the stuff that's happening? Like at the end where he shoots the guy and the lady gets knocked out because she plugs into him, which he shouldn't have in the first place. And then they come back and she's gone, and he shot a statue. So we're not sure what that's about.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they cyberized Togusa for just this episode, and then they like hand wave it away because he is still like, oh, you are the human member of the team.
To have a mystery, but it doesn't make sense from the inception.
Is this the one that ends with like his baby's also like sleeping by the computer, and then you see his computer start going off?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it is.
The episode 16 is when Boss gets asked him, "Hey, do you play the market?" No, my wife watches the show.
Oh,
they're on it.
Oh yeah, that's the money episode. That is a concept episode, but
Gonna happen in that episode. I can't tell you what happened in that episode.
Right.
Like, there's a girl with a money gun. That was the coolest thing about it. It was
Mo-
a money gun.
money guns, money gun's super great. Like communist assassin that kills you with a money gun. Great.
Killed you gold.
Let's make the episode about her.
Yeah, but what is she doing in it?
Nothing.
I'll be the one to admit I've watched these 3 times now because I thought it was my fault. I watched it on Sunday, like maybe I'm just not paying attention. Watching it stay like, I'm really struggling here. Maybe if I watch it, nothing. I'm watching it right now. I can't tell you what these last few episodes are about. They just kind of drift off there.
They are very basic. Like you give a quick summary of like, hey, this is what happens, and then it kind of just washes over you. Like the 3rd episode, Escape From, which is kind of 2 episodes in one because they really didn't know what the hell they were doing. But the first, like, 3rd is a Tachikoma episode, which Joey probably hates because he probably hates the Tachikomas at this point.
Oh, the stupid freaking robots that look like children.
Yes.
Yeah, those things.
Yes, they are very annoying. Is this the one where it? I think this is the first one where it throws the dog.
Yeah, it throws the dog and befriends the child.
Yeah.
You are
Like,
not.
I'm gonna be very mad at you if you murder another dog.
You're naughty, Tachikoma. Just.
And then all of a sudden it talks like the stupid police chief.
I thought that was clever, to be honest. Like, where it's like, oh, I need to, like, somehow get the cops off my back, so it just, like, talks like Aramaki. It's just like, oh, no, I've actually, this is my granddaughter, and my cyber brain has been transferred into this military robot to be your guardian, which goes back to episode 2. So, I enjoyed that. I like that as a little Easter egg thing.
This is again where we go back to what you said summarized in the beginning. There's concepts of good ideas here, but then it is weighed down by just the stupid tropes that the show goes to again and again and again. Why do the freaking robots have to? I understand. Actually, I understand. I was gonna say, why do the robots have to talk like children? I get the idea, because the idea is that they're maturing, like they're gaining some sort of consciousness throughout the show. They do that later on. So they start off as children because basically they're growing in maturity. But they don't need to talk like children. It's just goddamn disturbing and creepy and gross.
But then you couldn't have the fun of them pretending to talk like robots later in a separate episode. We need to convince the Major that we are not self-aware, so they just talk like regular robots.
About the robots having more life than the cyborgs. Like, Major is bland compared to Tachikoma's. He's a very bland person. Well, Tachikoma, I'd follow that for an episode. That's fine. I like the first half more than the second half because the Major is so dull.
Yeah, the second half is the Tachikoma finds a cyber brain in a dumpster. It is the cyber brain of a director who put his perfect movie inside his own brain. And then the Major watches Megalopolis for a little bit. It's...
So you assume he watched. I thought you had Joker full you do myself, but hey, it was Megalopolis.
Honestly, if I made like this episode today, I would do the Ryan Johnson like change up what your audience is expecting thing, and I would show the Major crying, and then she like jacks out of the net and just like, it was just so bad. It made no sense.
Why Jared Leto?
I couldn't put my perfect movie anywhere, so I put it in my own brain and got thrown in a dumpster.
Your mother's had the same name?
This movie is called Southland Tales. Just
put any bad movie in a joke.
Just name every bad artistic movie, or just name me any Neil Breen movie. Like, this is double down.
Anything that bombed.
And that's all you need to do to make a good joke. Like, just have the Major like staring at the screen, and then you just like superimpose like any bad movie there.
Halloween or something.
Jackass Forever.
Man, I don't know why I watched it. What did you expect from a Jackass movie? Really? That one really is dumb.
It's just dumb. Like, yeah.
I was hearing how it was an artistic masterpiece post-COVID. And it was just a long episode of Jackass. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they did a prank, and then they did another prank, and then another prank.
Anyway, moving on to Not Equal. This is a concept episode. So, Joey, do you remember Not Equal? What can you tell me of the plot?
You're gonna have to, like, just give me a brain.
CEO's daughter kidnapped by an anti-prosthetic body, anti-cyberization terrorist group.
So is this what? Yep. So basically, they have the cult. Like, they fight the cult at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have so many dudes. So many dudes to just get slaughtered.
I couldn't tell at the end who was on which team, honestly. Or I shouldn't say team. Who was on what side? Like, who are the cultists? Yes, I assume the ones getting shot are the cultists, but they're all dressed the exact same. The cops and the cultists are all dressed in military garb, and it was like, geez, that's quite awesome weaponry for a random police force, but
Gray in the show, just
Oh,
tan
yeah.
and gray everywhere. So no, I could not tell them apart.
in fact, like there were some because of the tan pants in some of them. I'm like, why is that soldier not wearing pants? Like it looked like it was drawn where he wasn't wearing pants.
Major's
I'm like,
not
okay, they're a little vague here.
Major's not the only one who can get sexy with it.
That's fair.
I wish they would at least explain that. Maybe I missed something. Like even Aramaki asked her, like, "Are you dressing like that to get my attention?" And she's like, "No, I kind of have to." And then they move on.
Well, that's when she like falls in a dumpster or something, or like her clothes actually get dirty, and like the only thing that she has is like not fetish wear, but it's like sexier, like weird wear
I
thing.
mean, they tried to give her a personal life in the episode before because that's where Bato asked her like, "Do you want to go see a movie?" And he's like, "Nope, I only see movies I'm interested in. I only do that by myself." You're
I get. I relate to that. And then, what about the movie you don't want to see? I just don't see them. Yeah, I relate to the Major in that instance. If I wanted to see it, I would see it.
Bato, why would I want to see the Eternals? Oh no, it's another Marvel movie. You need to know what's going on.
Change the movies every like the first one.
So all of these movies are connected? Like comic books?
Show, I will say this, and I think that's part of why I don't like it, because of the whole procedural thing. The show could be aired in any order and it won't matter. The exception of the Laughing Man episodes, they're very episodic. You can just throw them on 17, followed by 8, followed by 16. It doesn't matter. They're just cops doing cop shit.
I agree. There's no reason to have all of your filler episodes just jumbled into one. They should have maybe spaced the Laughing Man episodes a bit more if they knew that this middle would just be like cop episodes. Like I think this one, like there are legitimately 3 episodes in this run that I would say like, okay, Modern Sensibility, you have 12 episodes, I'm cutting these ones. This one I actually would keep, even though the twist is very obvious. It's like, oh, this picture was taken 16 years ago and she looks the exact same. It's like, it's a clone or a daughter or something like that. And then she's with an old lady. It's like, oh yeah, that's the original kidnapped lady. But then you get a
just confused the whole time. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, but then you get a cool action scene with their generic action song, and like you just watch people shoot guns for a little bit.
Their action scene, but it's their go-to song. It sucks. It's a shitty song. They're so proud of that song, and it shouldn't.
There's a part of that song where it's like they just start listing acronyms, and I forget what the first one is, but it's like, we got BBC. It's like, are you naming cable channels?
That's how you know they're Japanese rappers. They don't know what they're saying. Just say the English shit.
Yeah, people are really high on the opening for Dan Dan Dan. Or Dan to Dan. And it's alright. It's okay.
What's Dan to Dan?
Dan to Dan is the new hotness. It's made by Science Saru, who I'm trying to think of a thing that you have seen that was Science Saru that wasn't just Star Wars Visions. But they it's a romance action thing where the female character believes in ghosts, and the male character believes in aliens and doesn't believe in ghosts, and she doesn't believe in aliens. And they're actually both right, and there is an alien invasion along with ghost occult stuff happening. And a combination of
man.
hilarity and action ensue. And the
It's
show,
it sounds very, very cartoony.
it is very cartoony. In Science Saru, that's their animation style, so... But they do action very well, so there is that. It might be a Gaiden show. It might be something that I'll watch the first season with Marlon when it's all out, but I do not think you would like it, Joey. It is a Chainsaw Man. That's the best I can explain it.
Told a friend of mine today, because he was like, what are you doing after this? I'm like, I get to go talk about anime. He's like, oh, like you like? I'm like, no, not a fan. Like, it's not my thing. It's like, you gonna die on that hill? I'm like, oh, I'm on the hill. I don't think anyone's coming up to come get me. I was like,
that's half the fun. And it's funny, after all these years, Joey still is like,
yeah,
just keeping the show going.
There are some, like,
yeah.
I mean, he was like, there had to be some that you've seen. I'm like, oh, I can name a couple.
We continue to watch Demon Slayer because of you.
I did like your the Barnes and Noble, like,
yeah.
description. An orphan, a demon, a coward, and a feral beast. Go hunt Michael Jackson.
Okay, so what is the best name for the next episode? This is Money Gun episode. Automated capitalism, or yes, but yes is spelled with the yen symbol, the euro symbol, and the dollar sign.
Wasn't
the first one?
I was gonna say, wasn't the second one the name of it? The second one was YE dollar sign.
Yeah, but that's the American name. The Japanese name is automated capitalism, apparently.
Than just yes.
Yeah, I think the yes is better. Get it a little bit more to the point.
Automated capitalism, though. That's pretty creative.
Yep, like the little assassin who just kind of stands around and is like, I mean, does she kill people by being boring?
She kills.
She kind of stands there most of the time and doesn't do anything.
Characters are dull on the show. They're all dull. The victims, the perpetrators, they're all dull people with the same dull personality. And Batu will tell a joke occasionally. That's the show. Batu is like less grim. That's really it.
I like the money shotgun. That's all I can say. Like, but the concept of like, oh, this guy was a financial genius and made like this special algorithm for trading, and he has all the money in the world, and he just dies, and it just continues. I've seen that before. So it's not much, but apparently it makes it onto Togas's system somehow. That's at least what the.
I like that ending. Even he benefits. Good for Togasa. If anyone that deserves it, it's Togasa.
Nothing to say about Money Gun, Marlon, or we'll just call the episode Money Gun instead of
Money Gun. And there's a corpse in it. I remember that. Quinn is just like, here's to pay the ferryman. You need 2, you cheap bastard, but that's all right. And then the episode ends.
I'm glad I remembered something from it, so I remembered the ending, and I remembered who the assassin was.
Whatever you do, don't pay the ferryman. Don't even fix a price.
You're gonna get that song stuck in my head.
Yep, just listen to some Krista Berg and. Okay, what was the next one?
I'm trying to remember. It's off my heart.
Are we on episode 17 or 18 or 16?
No, this is 15. And
Early.
so, Time of the Machines is this one.
God,
and
this was bad.
And this the one when Bato is told that he can't have pets anymore.
This is where, like, yep, the major takes Bato aside. Is like, well, let's pretend to not talk about that. We know that the machines are self-aware. It's like, you're talking to him like the major is a machine.
I will say that the Tachikomas are legitimately terrifying in that scene because, like, there's one on the ceiling right now. Pretend you cannot see it.
It is kind of what I love love about them, though. They have these childlike personalities, but they're the most dangerous things in the world if you let them. And it's only the childlike personality that's keeping you safe. And were you to forget that, you'd be dead.
They like kind of kill it though, because they're like the one is legit like, hey, they're trying to like act, they're talking about us, but they're trying to act like they're not talking about us. Like they're in on the whole thing, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, shiny. Let's forget completely that we were just talking about, because we're still like these supposed to be these immature robots. It's like concept of the idea, go back into goofy childish machines, and hoo ha ha, is it funny and creepy? Don't.
I will say it
It's a safety measure.
because I know the ending. It fits into the ending, unfortunately, because the Tachikomas are part of the ending. But yeah, it's technically this is a Laughing Man episode, but it's only because it has to do with the main plot. But it's not needed.
So the Laughing Man takes over Skynet. Okay, gotcha.
No.
Evolution storyline, though. It needs to be spaced out better or pick up or something. I don't need an entire episode about the robots hanging out in town or whatever. I don't need a girls just want to have fun episode of the robots. I don't need that. We don't need a beach episode of the robots.
I need a beach episode with the robots.
You're alone on that.
I need them smashing some watermelons, like.
Try bathing suits.
Yeah, Joey, you have not been subjected to a beach episode yet, fortunately, because Demon Slayer did not have one. But it is
Episode?
it is a regular thing in anime that, especially if you have a long-running series, like eventually you will have a beach episode where all of your characters just go on vacation and go to a beach so you can put your female characters in swimsuits and have shenanigans happen.
Sounds about right
For kids.
The closest thing to a beach episode that Demon Slayer had was the entirety of the Entertainment District arc.
I was gonna say, like, I wouldn't call Demon Slayer above this by any stretch.
I was debating that. I think I'd watch Demon Slayer over the show.
No. I still like Standalone Complex. I still like the world of Standalone Complex more than I like Demon Slayer's constant need to undermine their own lore.
That's why, not to skip ahead, we probably still can't grade this. As much as I did not like this set of episodes compared to the first set, probably still can't grade it yet, because you got to give it the third part to kind of give it its full due.
Yeah, and I looked at the list of episodes. Those last 8 episodes are all plot. It is all Laughing Man from there on out.
Alright, so they just did it bad. Yeah, if Demon Slayer did, I felt they at least had one solid story thorough line that I could just follow the entire time and stay engaged and invested. This lost me so many times, and I have to rewind and rewind and rewind. Like, I don't care. You keep losing me.
I think that...
Show.
Marlon, do you think that's...
Marlon?
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, here's my phone. Cool. This is more interesting.
No, I'm trying to pay attention, and it's just the most difficult thing. It's so dull.
Yeah, Marlon, do you think that's just a problem of its time? Because this was a time when the expected season for an anime is 24 to 26 episodes. So, Demon Slayer lives in a universe where the expected, like, season is 8 to 12. So...
The episode shorter.
Yeah, so the budget is really, really lowered, and really, really focused comparatively. So, cut the episodes in half by more, and like up your animation for like some really cool gunfights. And I think Ghost in the Shell is still like stupid good if you made it in modern times, even though the modern times that they've made it has all been pretty bad.
In this case, it's all about the execution. Ghost in the Shell on paper is a better show. Demon Slayer has the better execution just because it's able to hold my attention even at the bad times. Even being a bad show, I can follow along with the bad storyline. This is a good show of good characters, and half the time I find myself not giving a crap or having to rewind because, wait, did I miss something important? No, you just didn't mention it. You just didn't bother talking about the little girl that grew old in 16 years. Did they explain why that happened? Was it a virus? Was it a treat?
They hand wave it away by saying, "Oh, it's because of the it's because of since she was sort of an experiment with the early prosthetics, like the prosthetics have caused her to age rapidly.
The prosthetics did it. Okay, I assumed it was the terrorists or
Didn't they
something.
say like she lived a full life when she was like plugged in or something? Like there was, I remember them saying something like that.
Yeah, I think they put her in like a San Junipero thing, but I think that's also implied, but it's a little wacky.
Physically, yeah, like they forgot to run logic on that one.
Believe me,
Yeah, but why is she old?
we'll get into the weird cyber stuff with the last episode of this run.
I guess what I'm trying to get across is Ghost in the Shell, the movie, contained story, contained plot, contained characters, very tight budget. It gets the awesomeness out to you in one go. This, I feel like it trips over the idea of a TV show. Like, what if this was 24 episodes long? You don't need that. You don't need it to be 24 episodes long. Just tell the story you want to tell, and however episodes it takes. 9 episodes, 12, whatever. As long as it tells the story you want to tell. You don't have a certain number you got to fill up like a CW show or something. You don't need a mid-season finale. You don't need all these things.
The problem is
the
that
better show I could pick up is Samurai Champloo.
Yeah.
Samurai Champloo has a one through line the entire time. Following this guy that smells like sunflowers, that's it. Boom, you have my attention.
the problem is that Cowboy Bebop was internationally a big hit. So that was 26 episodes. Everything is 26 episodes, and we try to make it a big hit.
To see the vibe is trying to hit the Cowboy Bebop thing, and it's just, it forgets to have engaging characters while it's doing it. Spike is iconic. Faye is iconic. Jet is iconic. They could have episodes by themselves. They could have TV shows by themselves. I'd be fine. Ed could have a TV show by themselves, and I'd be fine. None of these guys could carry their own shows. Not even the Major, and it's her show. It's kind of wild to me. No, the difference is these characters just aren't interesting. Cowboy Bebop pulled it off because you could watch Spike smoke cigarettes for 22 minutes, and wow, that was a solid episode. That's fine. This, I don't watch this guy do anything.
I mean, these shows came out at the same time, right? These were both 90s.
No, Ghost in the Shell was 2004, I think, so it was a few years after Cowboy Bebop.
Debuted in America in 2001, and then it became a big hit on Adult Swim. So every anime had to able to be on Adult Swim.
But like, I mean, like back even in 2004, 2005, I mean, you were playing episodes probably more often. Whereas now, with obviously since Netflix really took off streaming wise,
Yeah.
where we've all been able to binge shows and especially when Netflix produces their own content now, where like you said, seasons are much shorter. So like, yes, Demon Slayer is 8 episodes and you cruise right through it because you binge it, because that's really the way we pretty much take in media now, especially at least from a Netflix standpoint.
Yeah, perhaps the weakness of Ghost in the Ghost in the Shell, a future looking show, is that it is a victim of its time. It is a victim of the past. And
yep, it's animated CSI. And I did not like CSI that much. So there's more to say. Shit.
But now to my second favorite episode of this run.
Oh.
I love the boxing episode.
Oh wait, this one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Makes a friend episode.
I'm one episode ahead of you. Okay, that's what you're talking about. I didn't love
get your
this
hopes
one
up
either,
before
but
crashing it back down in the next one.
this one's better than the next one.
No, but I like the idea of like the cybernetic blind spot, and actually this boxer has kind of forgotten it, but Bato like uses it to play in, but he really wants this guy to be innocent, but he's not, and it just disappoints him when he like Bato gets run through the ringer in these episodes. Like he loses Tachikomas, he like almost gets used to kill a guy.
Yeah, like, or no, it wasn't friends, they were competitors, right?
Yeah.
They were boxing competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Bato beat him back in the day. So now he's like, oh, how are you doing training? And yeah. And he's like, I've had this hard life. And he's like, you don't have a hard life at all. Like, I've just, like, pretty much shadowed you all day. And yeah, because you get the one where his wife is like, oh, like, I thought he would like this, but I must have made him angry, and he just like kind of ran off. It was like, oh, like what did you do? Not aware of this, and yeah, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, oh, like I just turned off my blind spot, so I made you think that you knocked me out, and I needed your help for this or training, and then the whole time he just tricked him.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes Bato seem like a good cop, I will say.
Yeah, Marwin, what do you think of the boxing episode?
Batu episodes are good. We actually get character development, and Batu out of 3 is the most interesting one. Major is boring, and Togasama doesn't have any cyber enhancements, so he's just some guy. So that leaves Batu. Batu's the interesting one. Actually goes out and has things happen to him, like this friendship. Major, what does she do? Nothing. So no, I like this one. Not much to say about it, but like, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward episode. Like the other one.
There is a clear reason why with the second movie they focused on it being Bato and Togasa. Like that, they are a good buddy cop team, and they like going to that well if they need a good like concept for an episode.
Throws that off. The movie works so well because it was Batu and Major, and I realize that now. But the show, more often than not, is Batu and Togasa, and I don't care about that tag team. I don't care about Togasa. Just get him out of here, really. He could be like a side character thing, but it has to be Batu and the Major. That's the Bill and Ted. That's your team. That's your Jeff and Matt. That's your tag team. Focus on those two.
I don't know. The only dynamic with Bato and the Major is that Bato wants to bang her and also respects her. So I think you can only take that so far. With Bato and Togasa, they kind of have this kind of jovial relationship where it's based on mutual respect. So
they're partners.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Batu and the Major, you have your typical, hey, this person's too straight. Hey, this one's loosey goosey. And together we make a great team. Like it works out. Like with Deku and everyone else in his own show. Right? It's just like that. Or Demon Slayer, Tagacho and Zenitsu. Zenitsu's awesome.
In My Hero Academia, Deku and the rest of the cast that doesn't have crippling anxiety.
We don't need to see that movie, do we, by the way?
Oh, the two heroes with Dark All Might? No, we do not.
I saw...
Yeah, they got these kids.
For that at when I saw Transformers 1, I was like, oh, please, God, no.
The best meme, though, is that... sorry for the spoilers for anyone who really cared about the end of My Hero Academia, but the manga ended, and part of the ending is Deku gives up his powers in order to, like, win at the end. So the joke is that, like, he leaves the hero high school and just works at McDonald's for the rest of his life.
You have a good benefit?
Oh man!
Stay long enough, get free college, go back to college.
Read that, because I don't like that. That informs all. Oh man, I hope he's happy about it at least, because that's.
And no, granted, like that is a very like anime fan way to think. It's like, oh, you're nothing without power. It's like, no, this kid has gone through multiple like arcs of fighting the biggest villains ever. Dude's writing a book, he's doing a media tour, like fuck off.
Not even just straight up consulting.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like this is the only thing he wanted for so long. He made such a big deal out of it in the first season that to hear that he loses it later, it crushes my heart for him. I'm sorry, kid. I've seen your future. This doesn't work out for you.
But yeah, everyone wants the ending of Naruto where he finally makes friends with his rival again and then becomes the ninja president. But sorry, that doesn't happen with every shonen protagonist.
Ninja president. Made Naruto sound more appealing.
I don't know what happens in One Piece, because One Piece lasts forever, and you need an entire lifetime to get caught up.
That is a college degree in One Piece that's required. You get a bachelor's degree in One Piece. That's too long. No, I'm good.
Yeah, 1,100 episodes, Joey. We'll start going 2 episodes at a time. We'll be done eventually. Next one is Angel Share. What were you saying, Marlon?
At least you confirmed the rest of the season doesn't suck. So we have that to look forward to. We have 8 episodes of goodness, like pure laughing, man.
So here's the thing with Angels here. I actually kind of like this episode, but it reminds me of like the TNG episodes where it's like, oh, this is the way that Captain Picard is, but this is a Jean-Luc episode. This is an episode where it's just like, I was going to say Patrick Stewart can let his hair down, but that seems like a bad pun.
Neither of his characters can do it.
But it reminds me of that. It's not done as well as those episodes because Aramaki is not Patrick Stewart, but
I didn't need sex symbol police chief. Gross. Like,
Well, animated Patrick Stewart, goddammit.
oh, like I got my wedding ring. Oh, like tell your husband I say hello. Oh, I just wear it to ward off men. What are you doing? Yuck!
Happens. Get used to it. You're going to be having it too.
You know what they say, Major. Once you go short, you.
Oh, wanna?
Get out of it short.
Aren't you excited? I turned down this English intelligence woman who was clearly interested in me, so we can share this bottle of wine tonight.
They're
Yes, sure,
they're
I'm not interested in seeing movies with people, but I will share this wine with my boss.
they're not having sexy
Should be
time.
wearing
They are.
pants.
They're gonna talk about work. They went to a conference.
Probably what they.
Back to that, you can dress any way you want, but you dress in a way that has your entire team thirsting after you. Like, you
Probably
know
would
this is
be.
happening. Just fix it up.
Exactly.
easy, quick
It's
fix.
probably just like, oh, give me a summary of the anti-terrorism lecture. Well, he did this, and then he was like, God damn it. It's exactly what's happening.
It's not what's happening. They are boringly explaining anti-terrorism protocols to each other.
And then
Maybe I should have been on my
even a
cover.
moment over a good glass of Pinot Noir. Inhibitions start flying, and so do clothes. And the white hair is getting torn out of his head.
I am convinced that Aramaki has had sex once, realized that it wasn't for him, and put his entire being into politics.
Now that you put it out there, I think there's some people like that. I think it's a thing. Yep, might as well work, I guess.
Or he hasn't had sex, he's only read about it. And that's enough.
Plus, I don't know. I know he's supposed to be this virtuous.
Oh, Giamatti and
He just gives Bond feeling
Leftover?
Like, I get complete Bond villain vibes from the dude.
Oh, from Aramaki?
Definitely a Bond character. Definitely like Q or somebody.
Yeah,
Like
he's more M. He is
I don't get
he is M coded. Like, and the Major is basically just sexy James Bond. Like, that's all. Like, except I guess the Major doesn't talk back to him enough to be James Bond. So I guess if like you combine
According to James Bond.
if you combine the Major and Bato, then yeah, then Aramaki is M.
Do anything. She's just a robot that follows orders, and I'm supposed to be sympathetic with her or something.
Gives orders. Like, that's why I don't like his character at all.
Batu, that's why I like guys like Mugen. I have my characters. They're rebels because they're the most interesting ones. Yeah, because like I just want to bring by the book. Like that's not interesting to me. Even Jenna at least tried to like free a hooker at one point. Like do something interesting.
They did. They have wine, and then they solved this extortion plot by drinking the wine.
Marlon, I think our difference is that I like competence porn in shows. You probably would not like The West Wing. I can watch The West Wing and be like,
No, like, oh, they did a thing. Oh, cool. Yeah, they did their jobs, all right. Sure did.
Me-
That much in confidence porn. I think that's why people like police procedurals. They like seeing the process. I don't care. I really don't.
We just need to see people do their jobs well. Guy Ritchie does this as well.
Where does Armand do his job well? Like they imply it, but you don't really see him do anything except complain.
He goes in and he gives the dude like a writ that he's going to be arrested in like a week. Like a standard law enforcement agent when tagging someone in government.
One line is like, oh, like you always like take for granted how much work the police chief does behind the scenes to like get through all of these protocols or like to bypass these protocols, but like then like, oh, I'm so by the book again, letting these random criminals go. So even though I'll probably need them to testify later, but just dumb. And then share my wine with gross. Still gross. Every time I think of it.
Him trying to loosen up. This was his loosen up episode. Finally, let those guys go. I'll drink some wine.
Yeah.
Let his hair down. Like you said, Picard.
Yep.
John Luke, I should say.
And finally, we have Lost Heritage. The episode where the father and the son merge brains. And the father's need for revenge overtakes the son. And therefore they become a third person who is so bent on revenge that that is all they can exist with. And therefore he is an assassin.
And then like the major stops it, but what does she stop? Like, was he going to stab, but he didn't stab? Like all of a sudden, the assassin tackles the target, and then you see the major appear behind, basically hugging both of them. Yet she somehow stopped it. Like I don't get what she stopped. It looked like you already got your target.
No, she was holding his arm. Like she like stopped between them and was holding his arm. Like he got the guy. He got the guy. Yeah.
I saw the
she
knife.
Like grabbed his wrist.
Like
Yeah, they hacked into him at the last possible moment, but the only way they could truly pacify him, because he's so bent on revenge, is to convince him that he was successful. So as audience, you see him be successful, and
he was successful in that he blew himself up. He just wasn't successful in killing his target. And then stupid.
He didn't blow himself up.
Let me know if you need help with anything. It's like, dude, like, let me not punish like these. I don't get.
Himself up. He thought he blew himself up, and that's why the other guy survived.
Well, and I mean,
that part didn't happen.
Harm the dude. Like you knew we were running at him with flowers. I get it. You don't think of it, but like all of a sudden, but you left him just conscious enough where all he had to do was squeeze the flowers and blow himself up.
Part of the hallucination too. That was probably all part of the simulation in his head. And they cut to the TV screen. I'm like, yeah, this guy's alive. None of that happened.
Yeah, this is a cut. This is not needed. Like that they had the twist in mind, and then they kind of blew it. There's
a other twist. They kind of fizzle
because you're doing like the foreign relations story, like allowing the Chinese diplomat back for the first time in however many years, and I get like the repair foreign relations story, but like then the rest of it's just crap. It's like a bad retelling of Star Wars or Star Trek 6 is, I guess, the best way to describe it.
If only that cyberized son was played by Kirstie Alley.
Star Trek 6, Christopher Plummer, quoting Shakespeare. That one.
I thought Kirstie Alley was the assassin in that.
No, that's Kim Cattrall is the assassin in that one.
I'm screwing up my Star Trek movies.
I didn't know she was in a Star Trek movie, so now I guess I gotta watch it because that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't click.
The sixth one's good. I will say, you can Star Trek. Realistically, you can watch 2, 4, and 6.
Yep. Skip the odd numbered ones.
Odd numbers. As I keep being told, just skip the odd numbers.
Even 8, because First Contact's good. and then Generations is worth watching, and then then skip 10.
Although Marlon, you're a weed guy, so you'd probably like to get off your rocker and then just see the first one, because the first one is more an attempt to be like 2001, where the universe has sex with itself.
As I keep hearing.
It's very colorful. Pretty to look at. Everything is pink.
I'll check it out for Dune reasons, because I appreciated Dune for the very same reasons. Like, I'm high enough to like this. Great, this is amazing.
Dude, you don't have to be just high to like Dune. Dune is a masterpiece.
It's really helps. You know, it's a lot more than you normally would. Wow, that's crazy.
Let Tony's bad takes on Dune influence.
I love Dune. I am a Dune fanboy, period. I'll take Dune over Star Wars.
I enjoy Dune for the craftsmanship in both the David Lynch and the Denis Villeneuve versions. However, I have read Dune. I know what the story is, and that story is dog shit.
False.
Well, maybe I won't read it then.
It cannot.
Read it.
Dune cannot get past the source material is the problem.
There is a lot of world building. You have to get past, like, everything is like, imagine watching Blade Runner 2049. Like basically imagine reading Blade Runner 2049. Like, every time, like, you would have the scene where they're driving over, so you're establishing the setting.
Mm-hmm.
Like that they do in Blade Runner. That's like half of the Dune book is establishing the setting.
See,
the character speaks.
The problem, Tony, is your IQ's not high enough to like Dune. Only people who are part of Mensa like Dune.
When have I said?
And Tony went to school for English, so he knows more about writing than we do. So he sees the flaws that I just don't. Like, what are you talking about? This is fine.
No, I am also, like, very, generally very averse to kind of artsy-fartsy bullshit. So it's the reason why, like I said, Marlon, we're going to watch Megalopolis. I think you're going to like it, and I'm going to think it's the stupidest, most pretentious bullshit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
I know. I like food for
I want
thought.
to
I like
remember
good
Francis
content.
Ford Coppola's making stuff that's awesome. Not the.
I honestly don't think Megalopolis is going to be any good, but I kind of want to like it just to spite Tony a little bit. But I don't want to watch Megalopolis.
I need to check his filmography.
I like the fact that Francis Ford Coppola sold 2 of his wineries to give people work and waste a lot of his own money. I think a lot more people who are multimillionaires should do that and redistribute their wealth by making terrible things.
Like
Godfather and Megalopolis bombing be the reason AI takes over Hollywood. I can't do that again. We're just getting with the computers.
Jesus, I didn't realize he did all of these movies. He made Jack. That I did not know.
Yeah.
Dude had a lot of free time on his hands.
No, that I watched Mark Kermode, who was like, "Oh, if you thought Jack was bad, like this is worse."
Bram Stoker's
just
Dracula.
Forget and just don't credit him with anymore.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, I think, is actually good. Yeah, Keanu Reeves is miscast, but he was there was studio interference with that movie where they kind of forced Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves into that movie.
But his last real great movie, still Apocalypse Now. And then Godfather's 2.
Right? That's way too old. He's got to have something new. I'm looking that up now.
Well, he's made like his last movie before this. I think it said 2011, and I don't even know what it was. It was like some Twixt. What the fuck is Twixt? I don't know what Twixt is.
Good ones. No, that's a Godfather 3. Yeah.
I'm convinced he hasn't made a good movie since Dracula. And Dracula's like a 6 out of 10.
We did Jack and the Rainmaker.
What the hell is Peggy Sue got married? How did I heard so attributed to Francis Ford Coppola? Go by a lot of these. He made a lot of shit, and we just keep giving him credit for the good ones. Like, why can't my career work like that?
Well, because you made two of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Like 25, 15 or shit.
Yeah, like 40 years ago now. Or no, 50 years ago now. Godfather's 50.
Not everyone's James Cameron. Not everyone can make bangers like all the time.
The last Avatar was trash.
He has earned the badness of Avatar.
Those are pure vanity projects.
And Avatar is still at least fun and watchable.
Avatar is the second one is like
there's
a
whale fight.
Better than the second one. Yeah.
But he made a camera that sees CGI in real time. Like that is cool.
Yeah. They stab a dude with an arrow and then shoot him with the bow and arrow into another dude. How can you not like Avatar 2?
But James Cameron in action scenes, brilliant.
Yeah, and James Cameron, anime fan. Noted anime fan. It's the reason why Alita Battle Angel exists, and there needs to be a sequel to that movie.
We disagree on so much. I can live without a sequel to that movie. It's fine.
I want Rosa Salazar to have more work.
She should have more work, just not in that role. But that movie wasn't good, and I love Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez was there to make sure that the movie was made on budget and on time. That is why Robert Rodriguez exists at this point.
It didn't feel like a Robert Rodriguez production. I didn't get Desperado out of it. I didn't get Once Upon a Time in Mexico out of it. I didn't get The Mandalorian out of it. And they rushed all these storylines together, and I just didn't care. So no, that could.
Robert Rodriguez is involved in The Mandalorian. Really?
It's Robert Rodriguez and what's it, the Iron Man guy?
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, yeah, those two.
I didn't know Rodriguez was
But often made Boba Fett for a bit. In that same show.
So Joey, where are you standing on Ghost in the Shell standalone complex so far? First 9 were better than this 9?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because again, like at least the Laughing Man story like helped me ignore the general like just anime-ness of the show. But now with standalone stories, they stand out, and the dialogue is back, the goofiness is back, the child talking robots.
Yeah, I guess you didn't like the baseball episode of Samurai Champloo because you're objectively wrong about a lot of things.
What is that? What was this? I don't remember.
You don't remember the baseball episode?
No. Most of these shows you don't understand. Like, leave my brain. Like, that's why I like. I can like Grave of the Fireflies and Bell because those stay in my brain. Like, I remember them when we're done watching them. These shows generally, once I'm done watching them, like I'm like, oh. Like, if you remind me of a part, I might remember part of it, but most of it's just, like, gone.
But before the finale in Samurai Champloo, they had both a zombie episode and a baseball episode. Both end with the entire cast dying.
Vaguely. Still won't remember.
It's hard to compare those two shows. Samurai Champloo had interesting characters. This show doesn't. You can do standalone episodes because the characters will carry the whole show. They can say whatever they want. It can be about anything. It'll carry it. It's like watching Sing Along Up the Rock. But with this, they don't know.
And that's unfair. Like, I remember parts of Samurai Champloo because I remember the slashiness of it. I do remember the characters and what their motivations are. Like, the two that hate each other, but they're still like walking along with this one girl who wants their help, and basically they team up, and like more hijinks happens in basically medieval Japan where the whole world sucks. But in this show, like, yeah, like I remember Demon Slayer because of recency bias, but like Demon
Slayer is just McDonald's food. This is This is some other sort of fast food.
Like this Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
This is the illusion of healthy. This is Subway.
This is, you know what this is? No, you know what this was? Like the first time I had it, I liked it, and then the second time I had it, I'll probably like, I never want to do this again. It's Del Taco.
Chipotle. They're close.
Yeah,
It's the Chipotle of anime.
it's a Chipotle, it's a Moe's. It is a Southwest grill of a show.
Still fast food. It's still just fast food.
But so next time we have the rest of it, and it is all Laughing Man episodes from all the way down from what I looked at.
Chance to redeem.
The show should have been, but alright, I guess we have to go for this first.
I did half debate when I first suggested this of not doing the 26 episodes and just doing I think it's like a 3.5 to 4 hour movie version. That's just like the Laughing Man stuff crammed together into a movie, but the editing is so bad in it that I think it doesn't put its best foot forward.
And we wouldn't know the characters as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they did do some character building in these episodes.
Building that could have been all done in one episode per character, and it's kind of like spread out for multiple episodes that are about nothing. Let's kind of pick and choose.
Yeah,
pick out of it.
they also haven't told us about like 4 other members of the team. Why does Pazu and Boma not have an episode? What about Sniper Guy?
We know why.
The drinking guy, we got eye patch guy, the red credits. Where are these guys?
Because they're going to be dead. We gotta kill them off.
Probably. Don't get attached.
Joey, this is a cop show. No one's dying. I'm sorry. I'm going to spoil that for you.
Yeah, stuff. Shit.
Go sing this stupid song.
Yep. So what?
The memorable part of this whole show is that stupid closing credits song. The only human, and she's good at math. She's so cold and human, but is she human? 'Cause she smells like lithium.
I let it play every single episode.
Joey, if you continue, then we're going to get muted because it's just so close to the original.
Guy making money off of our song.
I probably sound better than the dude that's just singing in a lounge, like probably just singing in a record studio. Like it's like James Taylor. Just
Reading his lyrics he didn't write.
Yeah.
What the hell is it? All right, whatever.
Yeah, just side note for a show that has Yoko Kanno as the music director, this was not her best. Like Yoko Kanno like has all the talent in the world and probably like the best music director in all of anime because Cowboy Bebop is perfect, but
disagree.
Ghost in the Shell soundtrack is kind of basic.
That's way to describe it. It's very basic.
But aside from the last 8 episodes, which we will do in the month of November, next week we will do another Animesplaining Gaiden. We will watch the season 1 of Castlevania, which I guess is only 4 episodes, so we can burn through it quickly.
I've actually watched this.
Is it good? I haven't seen it.
No, but I mean,
Oh, this will be good.
I think I went in not thinking it was anime because it was on Netflix, so maybe that's why.
So now, if I'm remembering properly, Castlevania is the merging of castles and rock music, right? I'm making a bad WrestleMania joke. I was about to say that Vince McMahon put a mortgage on his house to make sure that the first Castlevania could be made.
You're thinking of Castlemania. You think the one was in 2 locations. Totally different thing.
Don't start this because Tony Khan needs pay-per-view ideas.
The pay-per-views are about to be free on Max, and that's when I'm going to actually watch them.
That's
be the
like
biggest
Time
AEW
Warner
fan
needs
then.
more pay-per-view ideas, so they're like expanding their pay-per-views that they're doing for a year.
I really want to see. Really want to see Bryan Danielson's retirement match. Do I want to pay $60? I can wait until January.
We go into the movies. Who do you think you're kidding? I'm not giving you $60.
Oh, see, I kind of agree with you. I'd rather just wait when I can watch it for free than watch him just like kayfabe just get his neck broken. Like I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see him Pillmaned on his head in the chair.
Although I guess
Do they have
apparently,
reviews?
I guess like Nikki Bella has like gone to ground with her new husband, and Brie Bella is really mad about it. So it's entirely possible that we are going to get Brie Bella in AEW.
Like, she's mad about it because her sister's out of the limelight? Like, she's...
I
disagrees with
I
her
think
decision?
her Nikki Bella's husband's kind of a dirtbag from what I've seen on wrestling Twitter, so I think it has to do with that. That like the joke is that Bryan Danielson retired, so him and Brie can go hunt down Artem, who's the name of Nikki Bella's husband, and like beat him to death or something.
And on this.
But
It's really hard to compete with an ex like Cena.
WWE gets the Rock.
Tony Storm against Brie Garcia or whatever.
Actually, I could get on board with that one. I mean, like everybody, the Tony Storm talking about her love affair with Stan Hansen is still hilarious.
Hilarious.
I
WWE didn't know it.
I laughed way too hard and then he gave me a lariat, but not with his arm.
But I did. I was like, oh.
It's like you're such a fucking goofball. But anyway, that's enough wrestling talk. We will see you next time for the Gaiden of thrilling at whips and vampires in Castlevania. Then we'll do Standalone Complex. And then we get to figure out probably a movie. Because I'm not immediately putting you, Joey...
Not My Hero Academia.
From...
Putting my goddamn foot down.
I'm not putting you from Standalone Complex to our big slog through Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm not going to do that to you. But I'll figure something out. We hopefully something in Demon Slayer is done by that time, but it probably won't be, and I'll need to watch more anime. Maybe we'll just make you watch Kaiju number 8, just for the hell of it.
Let's just watch Transformers 1.
That's not an anime. Well, everything is an anime.
Everything is an anime.
Wrestling is an anime.
We watched Rey and the Last Dragon. We can watch Transformers 1.
We watched Rey and the Last Dragon because you suggested it, and I allowed it.
It was good. It's one of the best things we've watched in the making of this show.
Is it?
Because it's animated. They're Asian. Is this anime? Like is that really how we figured it out?
No, it's just anything animated is anime. That's the justification. The Simpsons is anime.
We should, review The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Do all 27 seasons.
It could just be a Simpsons reaction show. Or we could just make a show for now.
It's 35 seasons now. Jesus. Yeah.
But yeah, so next time, Castlevania. Next time I'm on anyway. And then Ghost in the Shell. Then we'll figure it out. Aside from that, we're out of here. And no more wrestling talk, I guess.